Welcome to my review of the 75386 Vizsla and Moff Gideon battle. What a terrible name. I personally would have called it the Battle of Mandalore, but to each their own. Has 289 pieces, includes 4 minifigures, and retails for $40. That's definitely overpriced, but we'll get into that later. Taking a closer look at the box, we can see the figures in action. And then right here, we can see the 4 figures being Vizsla and Moff Gideon, and two Imperial Praetorian Guards. Taking a look at the back of the box, you can see they unfortunately used thumb tabs. You can see the figures and build in different positions, and you can see all 2 play features in action. But let's go take a look at those minifigures. The first figure we're going to take a look at is Moff Gideon in his Imperial Mandalorian armor. You can see it's some very nice leg printing and foot printing, and the torso looks very nice, and I've always just been a big fan of like black and red going together. And now taking a look at the helmet, this helmet is amazing. I'm so glad they didn't just use the Gar-Saxon mold, because it just would not have worked here. So I'm very glad that they did that. And if you remove the helmet, you can see that they include a hairpiece, and if you don't want to have the helmet on, which I think that's a great thing that LEGO's done. And I'm not a big fan of him lacking the typical Moff Gideon mustache, but I know that that's just a thing with the show's design and not really LEGO's fault. So I'm not going to take away points from the minifigure for that, but oh well. He does include a second face that looks extremely cursed and like he's constipated. He does also include a jetpack, so that's pretty cool. Now, since he includes the jetpack, he doesn't get the awesome red and black capes that the 2021 version had, so I think that that's pretty sad. But, I mean, you do get the jetpack, and I just think LEGO should have included both, because the jetpack would have most likely damaged the cape, so I understand why they didn't include it, but I don't understand why they didn't include both. Comparing it to the older Moff Gideon, yeah, they're kind of on the same level to me, except maybe I like the newer one just a little bit more because it has leg printing. Now, I can't be the only one that finds it strange that the color of his skin is kind of completely changed. I just find that to be really funny. It's less apparent on camera, but a lot more apparent in real life. So yeah, that's both Moff Gideon minifigures. Even though he is missing the cape, I do still think this is a great minifigure, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The next figure is Vizsla, and yeah, I think this guy's great. The armor and bulking and the helmet looks really nice. The torso, again, looks really nice, and I do like that the gun has like the shooting detail, because I think that makes it look a lot better. He does also include this backpack, which is supposed to connect right here to the other thing, but that does suck that it's not able to do that, but I understand why. But you know, that still means I'm allowed to dislike it. And underneath, he has just a black head, because we don't know what he looks like, unless of course you Google what the actor looks like. And this is what he looks like without the armor piece, and yeah, this looks extremely cursed, but I like that they still went out of the way to give him upper chest detailing, so I think that's good. Now, the minifigure is slightly different to his 2021 counterpart, but it's such a minor detailing, and I don't own the other figure, so you're gonna have to find it on your own. I am sorry. But this is an all-around great minifigure, and I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Now, lastly, taking a look at the Praetorian Guard minifigures. These are great, and you get 2 in the set, the only difference being the weapons. I think I like this one more, but I think they're both great. But taking a closer look at the figure, we can see some foot printing, some nice leg printing, waist printing that connects the torso. At first I thought it was a Sith Trooper torso, but I have been wrong, and we'll get to that later. The weapon, and it uses the elongated lightsaber hilt. The helmet looks really nice, and underneath is a red helmet, which I think that red head, because I think that that's really good that they do that, so you know, you won't have like a weird different color sticking out of the figure, so it'll just be red. Now, comparing it to the Sith Trooper, yeah, these figures are definitely different, but you know, the Praetorian Guard's armor looks suspiciously similar to what I thought the Sith Trooper looks like, but I was wrong. Now, time for a real comparison between the Mandalorian Praetorian Guard and the sequel trilogy Praetorian Guard. I like this one a lot better. It just feels more intimidating and less stupid looking. but I mean, I don't necessarily hate this one. It just, I think it looks stupid. So yeah, I like the new one more. Now, how including 2 is cool and all, but it does have one problem. I mean, there's 3 of them, and there's only ever 3 seen together. So where's the 3rd one? If you bought the 2024 Advent Calendar, you get it there. So yeah, that's pretty stupid on Lego's end. They really should have included the 3rd Praetorian Guard for $40, but not much you can really do about it now. Yeah, I think these are some great minifigures, and I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10. Now, as a minifigure selection as a whole, with the Praetorian Guard missing, I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. So, now taking a look at the build, I think this build is pretty good. Not worth $40, but I think this is like a great starting point for mocks, where like you can build stuff around it. So I think that's pretty cool, except I would remove this. But you get the point. Starting with the front, you can see a crate. So that's nice, and contained within is thermal detonators, if you were wondering. I do like the rock detailing, and the stickers are nice, although they are the discolored type, because Lego can't make the sticker the right color as the brick, so that's pretty stupid. Then right here we can see control panel, some more rocks, and the door detailing. And right there you can see some stickers to represent lights, but you can tell that the sticker is extremely discolored. And you can see this lamp, and then some colored clear pieces. My brain must not be working today. Although I do really like this door, the one thing I don't like about it is that you could just do that, and I think there should have been some clear pieces here. And, you know, it doesn't have to like cover the full thing, but I still think that would have been really nice if they had done that, because that would have made it feel a lot better, especially because if you've watched the show, there was a window there, and, you know, if there wasn't a window there, the Mandalorians could have easily won the fight. Opening the door is pretty simple, because right here's a ball joint, and you just grab that. And lifting up the door is pretty simple. Just do that, and it'll stay in place, because at the back they have this Technic thing, and you can see that right here is where it connects and holds it up, and then you just lift this and boom. There's what the door shutting looks like from the front. Now, there is actually a little bit of an interior right here, and you can see there's a panel showing Moff Gideon's light cruiser, but I think it belonged to the Mandalorians at this point. You could probably fit a couple figures in here, but I don't feel like trying, so sorry about that. Lastly, was probably my least favorite part of this set, is this stud shooter cannon. It's a full 360 swivel rotation. And, I mean, it's fine, I guess. For some reason, there's a clear piece right here. I think that's maybe like a scouting point. I don't know. And you can sit a figure down in there pretty simply, and you can remove it to find more studs for the stud shooters, or at least that's what you're supposed to do with that space, but I didn't. I just put it all in a plastic bag. But that's what you can do with it. You could probably put Moff Gideon's hairpiece in there. Something I'm not the biggest fan of is at the top. You can just see that they're very discolored with these black pieces, and I didn't really think they were that necessary, because they're not even there to like keep the door in place. So they're just kind of there to detract from the look. And yes, I am aware I can't remove them, but I review sets on how they are, not how they're modified, which I totally did not steal from another YouTuber, but well. Now, what's probably the worst part about this set is trying to fit the figures in, because with these 3 figures, it's nearly impossible to do without putting them on tiles. Like, if you want a stable stud connection, you have to have it either modified, or there's nothing else you can really do. You do have to remove this crate. I mean, it is hard, but it is possible with these 3 figures, but I think that's why Lego didn't include the other Praetorian Guard, other than them being cheap. It's just because it really would have shown how small this set really is. So I think Lego really should have extended this platform out, and how they should have done that is, instead of making a stud shooter cannon, have pieces to go to the platform. That's a pretty simple solution in my mind, and I think Lego really should have done that, and I just think that really sucks for a $40 set, you know. You can't do that. Now, if the set was like $25, I would be fine with that, but this is just sad. Now, one of the bigger marketing things for this set is that they made it combinable with the Mandalorian Battle Pack that released at the same time. They also have the exact same crate build in both sets. So basically you can combine the sets at 2 points being right here. And you can make it look like this, which I think definitely does help this set and gives it some more play factor into the back. And also connect it like that, and I mean, I don't think it looks quite as good, but teach their own. And if you get multiples of that battle pack, you can definitely make this feel like a much bigger fight. I do really like that LEGO made it to work like that, and I definitely think that more sets should be like that. But this doesn't end up costing you $60 if you get everything retail. Now, this set was kind of painful for me to build because of the amount of dark gray tiles used in this set, which, if you don't know, I like to build monks, but most of them have to have dark gray tiles, so that definitely does suck to see so many in front of you that you can't use unless you scrap this set. So that wasn't so fun. Now, I've been talking about it all video. The price of this set, $40 is way too much. But this set is on sale a lot. You can get it for $30, which is what I think it should have been, $20, $25, and I've even seen it so low as $13. Now, I personally haven't seen that in person because I would have gotten the set much sooner, but still, I think that's awesome. But yeah, which is weird because I think this set probably sold pretty well. Of course, I haven't done any research, but I mean, I think all kids would have loved this set, but I don't think it does as well with the adults, so you know, that definitely does hurt the set's value, so that's why it's on sale so much, that's my guess. But now let's get into my final thoughts. Now, I am kind of surprised LEGO made this set, honestly, because it is kind of based off of a very dark scene. Very is over-dramatizing it, but you get the point. So, should you buy this set? Well, if you're a kid, yes, absolutely 100%. You would love playing with this. But if you're an adult, I think it really just goes down to personal taste. Do you like the set? Do you not? And if you own the battle pack, that definitely is a contributing factor. And, you know, if you like it, cool. If you don't, cool. But personally, I love this set, and I've been wanting it for a while, and I'm glad to finally have it. Yeah, with this set, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because I think this is a really good set. I know it's not the most popular, but I like it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. If you didn't enjoy, leave a dislike. And please consider following me on Instagram. And if you're new around here, please consider subscribing, because if I get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll do a toothpaste reveal.